Okay, so just to get started and everything like that, just so you guys both know, yeah, by all means take out your notes or whatever. So I'm Kyle, Kyle Nash, the professor of this class. This class is Student Success. I've affectionately called this class Adulting 101. Essentially what we're going to try to cover in this class is all the things that will equip you to move forward in not only in your education but in your life. So that's kind of the goal of this course, is to get you oriented to class, get you oriented to adult life. In many cases, right, this is where somebody comes right after high school. Not always, but in many cases, and you're kind of venturing out on your own, getting some things started. You have a little bit more of adult responsibilities, things of that nature. So this will try to get you oriented towards, what does your schedule look like? What does the schooling look like? How do you manage your time effectively? How do you manage your money effectively? How do you manage your interpersonal relationships effectively? Where are you going to go with the rest of your life? That's going to apply to whether you're a brand new student out of high school or somebody who's, a single mom with a couple kids, So there's that. Just a little bit about me. I actually came to Gather for Him for my first 2 years of college. So I was part of the second class that we ever had here. Back then all we had was what was called an articulation agreement with Corbin, so it was a direct transfer. After my 2 years, direct transferred over to Corbin University, where I got my bachelor's degree in industrial and organizational psychology, which is a fancy way of saying business and psychology kind of mixed together. So came back here, started my career in human resources. I ended up getting like a compliance position, which transitioned to a company called Aerotech, which is a staffing and recruiting company. Eventually moved my way up to working on their technical side. So I ran the entire energy division for the state of Washington. So decided at that point that I was going to start my own company, and kind of been doing that ever since. I currently am working at Trios as a clinical recruiter, compensation, things like that, in addition to having my business open. So those are kind of a little bit about me. Born and raised in Tri-Cities, so there's that. Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun to be able to be a part of this school. I actually serve on the board here as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. So it's been fun to be able to see this go from, like the couple of students, very, very small, no location. We move every couple of years to, an official school. We now have online classes and things like that. So it's been really a cool journey to experience and be a part of. So I'm happy to be here. The reason why I teach this class is not because they pay me loads and loads of money to do so. It's because I actually honestly, genuinely believe that if you apply the principles that you will learn in this class, that you will be, number one, a much more successful student and a much more successful human being. Goes along with the mission of this organization, which is to equip you guys for work in your community and in ministry. So, I want to make sure that we're clear on that. Like, I really do believe in what we're teaching here, and I think that if you can apply what you see here, it will serve you very well in your life. So, there's that. I think that today will be designed towards going over the syllabus, more or less, because I always get people who are curious about how this whole system works, when things are due, what your papers should look like, things like that. So I want to go over that today with you guys. Let me see if there's anything else. Just before we start, and this is not included in your syllabus, so I want to make sure that I really hit on this. I mentioned this to you guys before. You guys are in class. You do not have to worry about your attendance and participation side of the score for this class, right? That's all front-loaded. You guys are here. You guys are interacting. You don't have to worry about that attendance and participation score. For those of you who are online, you will be required to respond to a prompt that will be on the dashboard. It will be under discussions. You will have to respond to a prompt in a certain amount of words, and then respond to one of the other students in a certain amount of word count. You will be required to do that at any point during the week. So between today and the next class, you have that time to be able to respond to that prompt or another student. So that's going to be the requirement of this class in order to get your participation points. I will remind you that it is a very, very large percentage of your overall grade, so please make sure that you are just making an effort in that way. Essentially what we're trying to do is make up what would have been class time. So, for those of you guys that are sitting in class with me, you guys have a chance to take an hour to interact with the material. So we're going to try to do something in like kind of saying, okay, instead of being in class, you're going to spend roughly an hour responding to people over a discussion format. So that's kind of the heart behind this. For me as a professor, I like to, I couldn't stand it. I got a couple of professors in college who took a 1-credit class, and their homework load was absolutely abysmal, and I spent more time on that 1-credit class than I did on almost any of my other classes. I'm going to endeavor not to be that person. So realistically in this class, you can expect to have roughly an hour of homework, hour and a half. If you are a very, very slow reader, which is totally fine, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours to respond to the material, read what you need to do. So you're going to be doing roughly a 2-page paper every class. It's a good rule of thumb, roughly 2 pages, double space. So it's, you really have a lob across the plate on that. That being said, let's go over the syllabus. Either of you guys have it printed out by chance? Okay. If you can, that'd be, oh my gosh, it's going to drive me crazy. Why is this not? Give me a second. No. So hold on, let me stand up while I do this. My courses, let me open it up. All right, so in order to find the syllabus, you are going to go to My Course, SS 101 Student Success. You are going to click the Syllabus tab, and you're going to scroll down to the Real Student Success Syllabus. It should be second from the bottom. And we're just going to go over this immediately. You can read the overall definition, distinctive role of the course, the destination and objectives, etc., etc. I'm going to get into this. The attendance and participation we have already decided to go over. For those of you who are online, we won't have to worry about excused absences. If at any point either of you two or anybody else decides that they're going to do in-class instruction, if you get 3 absences for my class in a semester. 3, okay? And that is excused absences, okay? An excused absence is only an excused absence if you let me know ahead of time. Period, no exceptions. That means if you text me or call me or email me or message the administration after the start of this class, I will not give you an excused absence. I want to make sure that we're clear on that. I want to make sure that we are upfront about this. I've had too many people across however many semesters I've been teaching this class who will message me right after and say, oh, sorry, I missed, I was sick. Okay, doesn't count. You let me know beforehand. My contact information is on the syllabus at the top portion, right? It says my email address. You have the dashboard that you can post this onto. Heck, you can call the administration and ask them for my direct line. They will probably give it to you, and you can call me. But do so beforehand. I don't care if you are throwing up, just send a message. Really, My expectation is that you would treat this almost as though you would be treating a job. A job will not allow you to call out after your shift begins. Okay? As I said before, the attendance and participation will be required for online people to respond to a prompt in a certain amount of words, which will be determined and posted on the dashboard following this class and the posting of this video. So there's that. I want to make sure this is also clear. Your assignments are due the Saturday prior to the class that they apply to at 11:59. If you send me something at 12:15 and you say, hey, really sorry, Mr. Nash, I wasn't able to get this done. Will you accept this position or this submission, blah, blah, blah? No, I will not, right? Just as a general rule of thumb, if you have any questions about the assignment, anything like that, that is not an excuse for you not to get the assignment in. Let me be very clear here, okay? Do not send me a message at 9:30 p.m. on a Saturday and say, Mr. Nash, something isn't clear to me on this assignment, and then not turn in your assignment, okay? That is not an acceptable response, period, okay? If you want me as your professor to like you as a person or as a student, to give you a good grade, you should not be responding to an assignment 3 hours before it is due, because then my immediate thought is you aren't taking this class seriously enough to look at the assignment before it's due in 3 hours, right? So I will not be responding to you at 9:30 on a Saturday. I've got a 1-month-old baby girl. I don't have the time to deal with this, okay? So there's that. That goes for people in class and online. Okay, if you have questions about the assignment, please post them on the dashboard. It's likely that if you have a question, that one of your other classmates also has the same question. Please simply post it on the dashboard, and I will respond to you in a timely manner. That being said, if some exceptional circumstance happens and I don't get back to you or something happens, do the assignment to the best of your ability and then have a discussion with me following. The chances of that happening are slim, but I want to make sure that we're covering all of our bases here. Are we clear on that? Nodding face. Nod. If you're listening to this, nod with me. Okay. This class, the grading is pretty simple. I want to make sure I'm also covering this with the grading. Okay. This is not a writing class, and I understand that. I'm not going to be a very, very strict instructor. I'm not going to be going above and beyond to say, your conjunction is not proper for this type of a sentence and your direct object is messed up. No. I'm not going to be that granular with it. That being said, if you cannot convey accurately what you are trying to convey in a paper, okay, I will dock you for that, right? That's excessive issues with grammar, excessive issues with like your punctuation. If there's some random word that's just adjusted in there. For example, I had a student last year who decided to voice to text in their paper. That being said, the whole thing was just absolutely jacked up, errors everywhere, and I had no idea what the student was trying to say in their paper. That was reflected as a poor grade on this assignment. Please don't voice to text in your assignments. It seems like it'd be a ridiculous thing to mention, but please don't do so, okay? Your grading is fairly simple. I will tell you guys this, and I want to be as candid as I can here. If you turn in your assignments and you respond to the prompts and or come to class and participate, you will have a very difficult time failing my class, okay? Let me repeat that. If you do your assignments and you have actual discussion and participation, it's going to be very difficult to fail my class. I will work with you. What I will not work with is somebody who is going to not turn in their assignments and lollygag the first half of the semester, and then you come to me saying, Mr. Nash, can I have extra credit? Can I have this? Can I have that? Can you come meet with me? I know my writing's all jacked up. I don't really have a whole lot of time. Again, if you want me as a professor to be endeared to you as a student, I need to see effort from you, start to finish, not the last 4 weeks I'm trying not to fail this class. Cool? Okay? If that's the case, I just need an honest and forthcoming effort from you. If that's the case, we can work with it. So, please make an effort to do so. That being said, the textbook is a very simple one. It's Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. You will have between either one chapter of reading in that book or a YouTube video, scriptures, what have you. They're very clear as outlined in the syllabus. Again, shouldn't take you longer than 30 to 40 minutes to do your reading, roughly an hour to do your paper. Anywhere. Literally anywhere. It's one of the most popular books, like it's one of the most best-selling books of, I don't know about all time, but it's one of the most best-selling books in the business world of all time. So I think your first assignment is going to be due this coming Saturday, so that will require some reading and response. The library should have a copy. And so if you don't have it, if you're having an issue with Amazon, please message me. Please message another student. Throw it on the dashboard. Again, people have been very accommodating. To be honest, I think I have an extra copy in my house. So if you need, just, again, communication, effective communication. Okay. Going back to this again, your assignments are due Saturday, 11:59, prior to the class that they pertain to. So your first assignment is due this Saturday, 11:59, before you come into class number 2 or before you watch class number 2 as an assignment. It is not due in class. It is due before the class. This gives me the opportunity on Sundays to go through your papers, since there's only 8 or 9 students in this class, maybe 10 depending on how this other person shakes out. Okay? I will be able to read your assignments, respond to them, and you will be prepped before the class and the class discussions. Okay? That way we can have an accurate dialogue of, okay, what did you guys think about this? What did you think about that? How do you think it plays in? That being said, additionally, with your assignments, I often ask for your opinion. Right? What do you think about X, Y, or Z? 2 things with that. Number 1, an opinion means an actual in-depth thought, not I liked it, it was good, it was okay. Those are not an opinion. If I didn't like the material, I probably wouldn't have assigned it. Okay? Seems self-explanatory. Right? I liked it, I didn't like it. Okay. Let's wade through that kind of a just word fluff and say, I appreciated this information because, one step further, not just, it was good, it was really helpful in my life. Okay, it was good because it was helpful in your life. How? I disagreed. One of the things that you will find about me is I appreciate your disagreement. In fact, I might have posted some of these videos or these reading materials because I might disagree with them, or a portion of them. Okay? So, if you disagree with an aspect of things, please say so. And then, okay, this is the second thing. If you remember, I said 2 things. This is the second thing. If you disagree with something, you need to have a well-reasoned, thought-out opinion why you disagree with something. Okay? Kyle, I think budgeting is stupid. Well, congratulations. You think budgeting is stupid. Why do you think budgeting is stupid? Okay? Mr. Nash, I think budgeting is stupid because realistically, for me personally, it doesn't have to do with actually making the budget. It has to do with sticking to the budget. And sticking to the budget has more of an emotional connection for me personally than it might for another person. It's really easy for me in the past to create a budget, but to stick to that is a completely different idea. It's really easy to say that I'm going to not spend any money on eating out. It's really difficult for me to tell my friends, sorry, I'm not going to come out on a Saturday night with all of my friends and miss out on a really fun time at wherever you go to eat. Okay. That's an accurate summation of your disagreement or your hesitancy around a specific topic. Make sense? Okay. Good. It is also worth mentioning that we will have some extra time in this class. I've particularly tried to get this class to the point where we have between 1 and 2 classes of flex time. So that means that you will have an opportunity to ask me questions we'll have an opportunity to spend a little bit more time on materials that you all find to be more relevant. Oftentimes that shakes out in the area of personal finance. Not always, but a good chunk of the time. So if you have any extra questions, if you have extra thoughts, you think that something might be helpful for us to go over, by all means reach out to me, put it on the dashboard. That's what I would ask of you at this particular point, so that we can have a better discussion. Again, this class is really designed for you to try to get as much out of it as possible. This is like a kind of an an all-inclusive, like, hey, we want to be able to help you transition into the rest of your life as effectively as possible. So any way that I can help you guys do that within obviously the area of my expertise, we will endeavor to do so. So let me know, okay? There's that. That pretty much shakes out most of what I have to cover. Yeah. So, quick note for class number 2. Okay, we have Memorial Day on Monday, right? Memorial Day. And Memorial Day on Monday. So you do not have an assignment